COVID is rising nationally. In Michigan, it's kind of on a downtick right now, luckily. But even with that, there's exposure. There's definitely concern for secondary cases.
As Michiganders return home from their 4th of July weekend, a question could come to mind for some. Will this increase in holiday travel cause an uptick in COVID cases?
So the answer would be whenever there's increase in travel, increase in exposure, we would have more cases.
According to Dr. Nicholas Haddad, an infectious disease specialist at CMU, travelers should be extra cautious when returning home.
There's an exposure. People need to wear masks and test themselves after 5 days of the known exposure. If there's no known exposure, then put on their masks for the few days after they come back to work. And if there are symptoms that develop, then check themselves.
Dr. Haddad says people need to remember that the current variant of the coronavirus may not cause symptoms in those that are vaccinated, but can still be transmitted. And that is the tricky part of the new variant. So he stresses that everyone, especially those who are not vaccinated, need to be cautious.
I would recommend still using masks in an enclosed location, such as airplanes or even airports. It is inconvenient, but it would spare us this major problem with COVID.
He says the best way to fight COVID is to be vaccinated, especially for children ages 6 months and older to adults who are at high risk.
We do very well know the safety and efficacy of it over the past 1 year. The side effects are very minimal. There are no long term complications that have been described. In fact, it is definitely protective against hospitalization, against death.
According to AAA, approximately 48 million people traveled more than 50 miles away from their homes this holiday weekend. Raven Blue, WNEM TV5.